But I do want to check in just briefly to let you know what Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has been saying about the debate that's ongoing, what she sees. And she tweeted, reminder that Brett Kavanaugh still remains credibly accused of sexual assault on multiple accounts with corroborated details. And this year, the FBI admitted it never fully investigated. Yet the court is letting him decide on whether to legalize forced birth in the US. No recusal. She also points out that out of 9 justices, 3 were appointed by a man who tried to overthrow the US government and was elected via minority. Those 3 will decide whether the US will legalize forcing people to give birth against their will. Legitimacy requires consent of the governed. They are dismantling it. And again, does me ever expressing, and if I ever express a desire for consistency or a lack of hypocrisy, I apologize for wasting your time and probably my own, but I'm gonna do it very briefly. If the radical, like women's bodies are not their own, if something happens to, we're gonna force you to give birth, God, who cares what you believe? If that group would honestly do 1 or 2 of these things, I would be a little bit more in the position I think where you're in, where like I sort of respect it. If they actually were like, we're gonna force you to give birth, and then to the extent that we can take the power of government and just make it so that babies are born healthy, they're provided for. We love babies, we just want babies to be safe. They would have such a better case. And I honestly think that would substantially increase the percentage of people that would shift to the anti-choice argument if they believe that there was anything other than religious zealotry to it. But there isn't. Or alternatively, if those same people that are like, women should be chained to a hospital bed and forced to birth children, also didn't then constantly talk about how the Democrats are running a tyranny and you need to call them communists because they're forcing you to put things in your body that you don't want. Pretending that they care about liberty and your rights and freedom and all of that. They don't care at all about that. They think that you're a uterus with a human attached to it. And so there's just no consistency. And I know it's a waste of time to even mention it, but I wish I could see a little bit of that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm just slightly classifying stupidity different in terms of responsibility for, my contempt. Like I don't like them. I think they're wrong. And for those obvious religious hypocrisies that are rampant, like I call out those religious hypocrisies all the time. They have them. They're terrible. But I would say like the cynicism of and the nefariousness using those folks' stupidity and ignorance, depending on the specific issue there, and their knowledge of how terrible they're being, which let's be honest, they know a lot of them, as you know, they know how terrible they're being. There's 2 categories within those quote unquote, religious zealots outside the Capitol. There are the ones who are like, no, the same ones who are like, we need to save the babies under the pizza parlor. That's one category. The other ones who are like, I don't know, I'm just here because I just want chaos and disorder, and I love to hate, people of color or gay people, period, because I secretly am in love with them. Like all of that stuff. Those people are worse, but they're all bad, and I wish they would see the error of their ways because I'm praying for them. I pray that Jesus guides them to the light of truth that can save their soul from this hypocrisy and damage that they're doing, turning women into government-controlled farms to grow, babies.
As you were doing that, and you delivered it pretty well. I'm shocked that you haven't had like a Twitch televangelist character. I think we think about it. You've already got that great graphic if you use Jesus. I think that would be pretty good. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.